On this episode of ModBusters, we check out Direwolf 20's defense against a nuclear reactor. Will one layer work? Will two layers work? Or will three layers work? And as an extra special addition to the end, we also have the full-on cube to see how well the defense of a reinforced reactor will work. I'm Acabane101, and let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Acabane101 and welcome to ModBusters, where we bust some super cool ideas for mods. In this case, we are going to be demoing something in Industrial Craft. Will reinforced stone, as demonstrated in Direwolf 20's Let's Play series, definitely defend against a huge nuclear reactor explosion? Well, we're going to test that here, see how that's going to work out. First, we're going to try the single layer. Then we're going to try the double layer, like so. And then we're going to try the triple Direwolf layer, which will protect against those huge nuclear reactor explosions. And we'll see and test in our little ModBuster world, this little place that I made about 5 seconds ago. And we'll see just how this will hold up against a nuclear explosion. I'm Acabane101 and let's get started. As you can see, as we get started here, we do have the nuclear reactor in the middle, but as many of you have seen in Direwolf 20's Let's Play, there is these reactor chambers that go around it. And what do? Well, if you right click, as you can see, say I knock one off here, the columns actually decrease every time I knock these guys off. And wow, I am awesome and actually broke the entire machine. But as you can see, it only starts with 3 layers. But Direwolf has the full set, the full engine, and I'm not quite sure if that'll make it so it explodes larger or smaller. But we are here to test out to see how well Direwolf's protection will protect against a full-blown idea. So what we'll have to do is do the full-blown thing. And so with the first test, guys, we are going to be doing just 1 layer thick, then 2 layers thick, then 3 layers thick, like I said before. Alright, let's continue building our reinforced wall. As you can see, no expense is going to be spared. Also, the bottom of the reactor will be blocked off with this reinforced awesome stone stuff, which is really good. Okay, so just letting you guys know that the entire reactor will be covered up like so. There will be no water inside of the reactor, for that will be evaporated even no matter what. That's just going to be evaporated, so we don't even need to account for the water, because the reactor is going to get so hot it's going to explode, and the water will have no basis on cushioning the blow. So therefore, no water will be added to the reactor, but there will be the same amount of space as if there was water on the inside of the nuclear reactor. So that'll give it a little bit of an air gap as we build up here. And you'll see this is only 1 layer thick, and this is going to be a nuclear explosion. So my first opinion as to what's going to happen here, it's going to be a catastrophic explosion with lots of deadly things going on. This sheep is going to get just absolutely devastated. Everything in this land is going to be murdered and destroyed, and I'm going to have to go reload the entire world. But don't worry, sheep, your death will not be in vain. We will find out just how good these reinforced stone slabs, these little things that we call our protection, we'll see just how good it is. And just so you guys can see just how amazing this is, I'm going to take my mining laser and I'm going to set it to mining mode, as you can see, and let's just, right click and look how good this stone is against this mining laser. We are not doing any damage here at all, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see here, will our explosives work? Let's go to explosive. Oh, even the explosives do not do anything to defend against, even the explosives cannot do anything to this awesome reinforced steel. So maybe we have high hopes. We will find out. And don't mind this little guy here. I accidentally added a whole bunch of awesome enhancements using NEI. Okay, let's continue building the fortress, and I'll patch this guy up because that's just not fair if it's already been pre-blown up. Okay, let's continue. So as you may know, Direwolf does have a doorway going into his facility here. Will it be enough, though, to defend with just one layer? And also might as well get ourselves that lever that he has to open the door. I believe he has it on the outside by now in episode 39, but who cares? Now we have that door to open our way in to the amazing house. Oh, and another thing that could possibly, potentially be a complete flaw may be that there is a hole in his building that has this nice little cabling going directly inside. And how about we make that a little bit more realistic here, where I just put this guy right here like so, connected to the nuclear reactor itself. And of course, oh, what would be connected to some sort of facility like this? Of course, the MFSU, which will be gaining millions and millions of resources because we're going to be stuffed so much uranium cells in here. Like, oh, the sheep is going to be like so devastated by it. So I believe it's about time, guys. We gotta go get our uranium cells. So let's type in uranium. And yay, I spelled it correctly. And let's just grab a whole bunch of this stuff. Oh boy, this is gonna be the most magnificent thing ever. But what we're gonna need to do is hook it up. So I'll be back in just one moment, guys. But don't go anywhere, because we're gonna have this intense explosion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The very first test that we're going to be doing. 1 layer thick. We're going to throw our uranium cells in here like so, and I don't want to put too many in there because that scares the living crap out of me. Dying before the test is even complete. As you can see, we're going to close the door, and we do have this little cabling going over here. We can activate it like so. And I have my nice little bomb shelter here, which hopefully, possibly might not really protect me because it's mostly glass. But hey, we'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out together. So, what do you say, guys? Let's turn on the switch. You don't know when this thing's going to explode, and neither do I. But I'll leave the video running, of course, until it does. And oh boy, I'm really scared. But okay. Let's do it, guys. Test number 1 with 1 layer thick. This is ModBusters. Let's do it. Okay. We're protected. Okay, this is test number 1, guys. We don't know when it's going to explode. It could go off at any moment with all that uranium inside it as well. And it's going to heat up as fast as possible. The anxiety is growing. The time has come for this reinforcedness is doom, which was originally meant to protect against explosions. I can now hear some of the radiation, which could possibly be the advancement of the explosion. And we are in this 3-layered thick glass with reinforced stone beneath us, 3 layers thick, and I'm hoping it's going to protect me against this explosion. And if anything, 3 layers thick of anything should be decently enough. Oh, you can start seeing some lava, and it explodes! And looks like, if we break out here, the nuclear explosion literally melted the reinforced stone, but look at the least amount of catastrophic damage done. Oh, I have really high hopes for even just 2 layers thick. As you can see, there was some damage going down here, but most of this was dirt below this little thing here, and as you can see, not too much damage on the exterior here. Now, yes, it was not surrounded by items, but as you can see, there was not that much damage that was done using the reinforced stone. So as you can see, this is actually a very valid way to protect you from a nuclear explosion. And even though it scared the living crap out of me, that definitely was a very protective way of testing and seeing how devastating this nuclear explosion was. Oh my, I'm really excited to see what 2 layers thick of reinforced stone will be. Alright, we'll be right back, and we'll see what 2 layers will do. So just as you guys will see, this is how it will go when we protect the reactor, and it will not be a full angled size thing. It's going to be more like how Direwolf 20 did it. So what we're going to do is make it so it goes 1 block inward, which is directly below where the reactor flooring truly is in the bottom there. And we'll use this as our test to see if how much of the explosion may seep through the little crease here, and if that's actually going to be something of importance or not. And now, yes, it is getting dark once again, so we use our trusty NEI switch to make it noon. But yes, this will be how we are going to determine on if seeping is a big issue and if we need to actually add more and more reinforced stone depending on how far out we go with the blocks. Now, personally, I do assume that the 2-layer that we are going to be doing for this test will be more than enough to defend against this reactor explosion, considering there was not too much of that explosion. And earlier we saw some melting going on with the lava. And so this way, I do not believe that the lava will have enough time to seep through both layers of this reinforced stone and do as much damage as it did with just the one layer of stone. And yes, of course, we're going to still have our MFSU. And if you didn't notice in our recent test, that the MFSU was indeed blown up with that. So all of our energy was indeed lost in that last little explosion. But in reality, normally you're going to have this guy a little bit farther away. And with glass fiber cables, these can go up to 24 away without losing any ticks of energy. So if Direwolf 20 had his setup the way he did, he should not have lost any energy. This MFSU would be intact, and really nothing bad would have come of it with just one layer thick of this reinforced stone. So this is definitely a very cool key factor that we're looking into here. And yes, we still have this redstone little wiring here, which is definitely important when it comes to the realism of this test, because it's going to be similar to how Direwolf 20 has it. And if any of this if anything this way is damaged, we'll know that it is very, very difficult. And what we're actually going to do this time, guys, is we're going to put a little bit of a test here. What we're going to do is we're going to put some dirt this way, and this will see just how far away the explosion will go and how much damage it could possibly do to all this redstone wiring. Hopefully it will just be the redstone wiring that gets murdered when the explosion goes off, for there is no reinforced stone that is actually blocking the explosion from pushing out this way. And since MineCraft doesn't work to the physics of the real world, we shouldn't have to worry about all the explosion finding the easiest way out and doing as much damage as possible to the outside of the little reactor thing there. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'll reinforce this to be too thick, and we'll see just how much damage this little explosion could do to this little dirt pile here, and if it's going to be catastrophic enough to be something of a worry. And so just so you guys can see a little bit of a difference here, as you can see, this little hole here is not protected. So I want to see how far this explosion is going to go out and damage this little dirt pile, and see how much damage it really does. This is 6 thick and 3 deep. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And yeah, so 6 wide, I guess you could say, and 3 deep, or 6 deep, 3 tall, 3 wide. Something like that. Anyway, you see how the display is, and we'll see just how much damage this one little hole could do. And maybe, we never know, this could actually end up damaging the MFSU if the entire facility does not explode. So this will be very interesting. Another key factor here, this reinforced door, which is here, we had to move it back because it's the same way how Direwolf 20 did it, and he actually has it 3 back, of course. But there is no reinforced blocks here. And this is for easy access into the facility, but also this is easy access for the nuclear reactor itself to explode and exfiltrate the building itself and do a ton of damage to any of the exterior of the building. So we'll see just how well this reinforced door will do at defending it, and maybe we'll even do a test to see if 2 doors would be the best idea, considering this will do a power in here, and I believe it might actually convert power over here to have 2 doors instead of just the 1. So that would be a good test to do in the near future, depending on how well this door will handle the explosion. Now up here, as you can see, it's the same as the flooring. It's 1 up. We'll also see if any of the seeping will happen. And I believe to test some of the seeping, what we should do is plant this dirt on the outside, and for some reason it's just really, really loud. The sounds of the game are ridiculously loud, so we're going to see if any seeping happens with this dirt. This dirt should not really have any factor as to how the explosion will happen. And we'll just see if any of the damage will happen up on this dirt here. It should not do any damage at all, though. And we'll just see if any lava will actually pour out. Okay, so I think we should get started on test number 2. Okay, guys, so here we go. This is going to be test number 2. We're going to throw all these items in here. It's going to be a little bit more uranium fuel than before. And, of course, we're going to do it the safe way, where we use our nice little remote. And I'll cover this thing up with our reinforced stone, and we'll see just how well the 2 layers will defend against a nuclear reactor explosion. Looks like that was either quite instant or the MFSU received too much power. So let's just redo that real quick. Okay, so in this situation, we are going to have to do it the safe way that we did last time, where it's not too much power going to the MFSU, because it turns out MFSUs are not God and cannot receive too much power. So we're going to close this guy up. Don't worry about the sound, because he's not receiving any power. Okay, time for take number 2 of test number 2, where it is doubly protected, and that should have activated the machine to go off. I'm just going to protect myself from any kind of nuclear explosion. And how about this, folks? Who thinks it's going to explode? Post in the comments right now. Don't even continue the video. See if you think that this is going to protect against a nuclear explosion on the inside of this thing. I am just jumping for joy. I'm really excited to see how well this double thing will do it. And will the dirt actually get damage up at the top there? That's what I'm really curious about. If seeping is actually possible. I know that there's going to be some lava melting on the inside of there, and it may pour out onto the second layer of reinforced stone. This will tell us if we need to have 3-layer stick or just the 2-layer stick. So okay, it's about to happen, guys. It's about to happen. I can just feel the explosion just coming. Oh, it's the anticipation, guys. The anticipation of the explosion happening. It's got to happen at some point. Oh boy, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I can just, you guys can even hear it happening on the inside there. And as you can see, the lava is now done it, and the explosion just went off. Oh man, okay, so the explosion went off. As you can see, there was some damage, and looks like the dirt was completely wiped out on this side and on the other sides. But is our MFSU completely safe? That is a question, and looks like our energy was completely protected. And even look at the top here, it looks like seeping is in existence here. So as you can see, a lot of this stuff was actually brought outwards, and for some reason there's a sound going on. So let me just save and quit and reload. Something's going on here, so let me just relog into Minecraft real quick, folks. Okay, and we're back inside of our Minecraft world. So like I was saying, there was some seeping going on. There was even some damage that went directly below and directly above. So it looks like anywhere where there was a chamber actually just touching the edge here, it looks like it damaged it enough to break through the reinforced stone here. But I believe if you put this little just 2-layer stick, you shouldn't have any problems here with the damage. As you can see, a lot of the dirt was actually destroyed, but that was mainly because there was this little hole. And now another factor was that the front of the thing here was really damaged because the door, there was 2 layers that were just pretty much not there to protect against the explosion. So basically, whenever there was some location where there was a hole there or a reactor chamber, it kind of just forced an explosion outside and did a ton of damage. And let me just turn it to day again. And as you can see, so two reinforced stone does not indeed hold up against the explosion, but it is usable enough to protect against the MFSU being so close to the nuclear reactor itself. As you can see, that was only really a few layers away from that actually being damaged. And I believe if the seeping wasn't in existence here, I think more of the explosion would have been cushioned by the reinforced stone. Okay, so let's continue on and get ourselves to 3 layers deep I would like to call it the Direwolf 20 defense. So in this test, we're still going to do it the same way how Direwolf 20 did it, where he put 3 layers deep as so, which is the same way as last time. So yes, I'm really curious. I believe there's still going to be a lot of seeping going through this way, so we're going to see that, and then after the Direwolf 20 test, and then we're going to try a full cube around the reactor and see just how well that'll hold up to the explosion, and see how much the difference will be compared to this one, and they'll both be 3 layers thick. So let me get ahead and finish that up, and then we'll see the second to last defense against a nuclear reactor in your home. So as you can see, same situation here. It's all 3 layers thick. The door, though, is the place where things that are bad are going to happen, and what we're going to do is do a slow straight line all the way towards my little shelter here. We're going to see just how far this door will get blown out and just how much damage it's going to do to this little dirt pile here, and if it's actually catastrophic enough. And depending on how many dirt blocks are destroyed will depend on just how effective this door is, and then later we're going to check out how it will work if we have 2 doors or 3 doors or whatever. I think we're just going to try out 2 doors, maybe not even any. But as you can see, this building is built the same way Direwolf 20, I believe, has it. It looks almost identical, I would say. I think Direwolf 20's building is a little bit bigger. There's some wires that go into the bottom of his, but this will give us an accurate test to see just how well this will do. And we did see some seeping before when damage happened, so we're going to do this once more to see how much damage is going to happen to these blocks here, and just how critical it is to defend against any kind of damage seeping out from the core reactor here. But this is all 3 layers thick. I do have good hopes for this. As you can see, I increased the length of how much dirt is going out on both sides, so we'll be able to see just how much damage is going to go out from the little holes that are here. I put a new MFSU, but just on the outside, just like the other one, but of course it's protected a little bit more. And this is going to be pretty much the test that we're going to do. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to throw these uranium cells in here like so. Of course, the reactor is not going to turn on until we're completely safe. I'm going to set the time to noon. This is the official test, guys, for the one to see if Direwolf 20's build is indeed the best way to go when you have yourself a nuclear reactor, guys. This is test number 3. I got my reinforced stone ready. Let's flip that switch. Come on, come on. Don't want to die or anything like that. Post in the comments if you think this is going to be an effective way to defend. This is the Direwolf 20 test starting right now, guys. The reactor is on. It's powered. It's going to be powering that MFSU, of course, with all those uranium cells. The same amount of uranium cells that we've been using since the beginning of the test, keeping them a reasonably same test. We're going to be expecting lava to be pouring out the front of the reactor and doing some damage to the interior. Is this going to do, though, enough damage to defeat the reinforced blockage here? And is the dirt on the upside going to be eradicated? Or is there going to be any holes at all in the reinforced stone at all? As we saw in the second test, it didn't do too much damage, but here we go. I can feel it. The magma is going to be just... Oh, the lava. I can see some of the light there. The lava is now there. It's going to be filling up just a little bit. And the explosion is about to come, folks. And, oh, and it explodes. And as you can see, the front there. Wow, the door really does not do much for defending against an explosion. As you can see, I had to remove the first 2 blocks here. But 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks away from that front door, it did a ton of damage. As you can see, there's only a minor bit of damage on the outside here, on the bottom corners here, but that's from the seeping. As you can see, there was actually a decent amount of damage, of just damage seeping out the sides, the little corners here. And I believe if we made this more of a cube, it's just like a full thick cube, this would actually do no damage at all. And as you can see, we actually got a decent amount of uranium power, 336,000. So at least we defended against the explosion reasonably well. Let's go check the sides here. As you can see, only a little bit of the cabling was destroyed. Yes, and completely eradicated, though. As you can see, the nuclear explosion will indeed, no matter what, I think, do these 4x4 holes on the side. Wherever there's an exit to the building, there's going to be these 4x4 holes that do a ton of damage here. But that's really good that we've been testing this. And now it's time for the final test. How good will a full cube do when it is exploded with a nuclear reactor? We'll be right back. So just to clarify here on the final test, what we are doing is making sure that there is no seeping coming out of the sides here. As you can see, these little corners, that's where all the extra things are seeping out and affecting how the explosion is happening. So what we're going to do is completely seal this up like so, and making this a perfectly normal cube, doing as much defense as we possibly can to make sure that this this explosion is contained and safe, well, as safe as it possibly can be. And of course, I've been hiding behind that reinforced plastic shielding, and it's been doing a very good job at keeping me safe. Of course, on top of this extra reinforcement, of course. So I will be right back. I will plug up all these little seeping holes, and we'll see just how well a full cube will defend against this nuclear reactor explosion. So another tactic that we're going to use to minimize as much damage as possible to the exterior of the machine, as you can see, there's these holes here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go 3 thick out this way, kind of like a little defense mechanism to make sure that the red wire is the only thing that really gets damaged, and maybe just somewhat of the ground. We're not going to worry about the ground, so we know that's probably going to get eradicated. We're not going to have to worry about that too much. We'll just accept the fact that that might be damaged just a little bit. And another thing I want to do is go out this way just a tiny bit as well, and kind of just defend against this explosion of the exterior hole here. And what we're going to do on the other side is not have that. So it's probably going to do the exact same thing that it did last time. But we're going to see just how much this is actually going to help against defending such an explosion. Maybe it's going to be for the better, or for the greater good. Maybe it's not going to be the greatest idea, but hey, it's a good test, and we're just going to test it out. So on the other side, we're going to have it, you know, as our standard way that we've been doing it the entire time. And on this side, we're going to see how well this will defend against the explosion. And hopefully, the only thing really destroyed is just the grass and the redstone wiring that we have here on the bottom of the ground, going up to our switch here. And this is the red wiring has always been related to how an explosion, how you would set up a normal system and have those lighting systems that Direwolf had, or any kind of way to make sure your system doesn't turn on its own, and you can have a safe position to turn it on your own. Okay, so now it's time for our final test of the day, folks. This is it. This is the big one. This is the one that you guys have all been waiting for. I am sure this is going to be our final 4th test. Is a full cube going to defend against an explosion and not have any holes in it, except for the little exception of the one hole that exfiltrates the building itself? I'm assuming there's probably going to be 4 here, 4 little spots here that are going to explode outwards, but other than that, will this protect against it? Well, I don't know. How about we just do that right now? Let's throw all these uranium cells in here like so. Close the door, and as you can see, I put 2 little blocks in here as well to do as much protection as possible. So some damage will be going out here. And it's going to set the time to noon. Let's do it, folks. We're going to flip the switch as so. The machine is now active, now dangerous, and could kill anyone that is outside of this little protective thing here. And here we go, folks. This is the last ModBuster test of the day. I know you're all excited, waiting for that magma to just appear on the inside. As you can see, it's going to heat up, it's going to melt. The lava, I don't know why I keep calling it magma, but the lava is going to fill up the inside of the cube. And we'll just see how well this will defend. This is 3 layers deep. This is a completely smoothed out, complete cube, and we're going to see this, folks. All we should really see, though, for damage is the front and to the right there. So I'm really curious to see how well this is gonna hold out, and I'm really curious to see how this thing on the left is gonna do. I believe I see some light, folks, and this explosion is gonna happen very soon. It's melting, and the explosion is about to happen. Oh wow, that's insane! Can you believe that's not even that much damage. The door in the front didn't even get damaged. Let's go on the inside here. Wow, that is intense. Look at this, guys. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, a little bit of damage was done on the outside here. I'm not quite sure how much damage would have been projected to the left here, but as you can see, this did help with some of the defense. As you can see, though, there is a lot more damage that goes out on the unprotected side, so it is now recommended that you do put your defensive reinforcement here at least 3 to 4 layers thick, probably a little bit thicker than normal, because you're allowing more of the explosion to exfiltrate the machine. But definitely put 2 blocks out here in front of your door, so your door doesn't actually fly off. None of these dirt blocks were damaged at all, so that is definitely very unique and very cool. So there you have it, folks. Make it so your defensive cube, you have a defensive cube around your nuclear reactor. You shouldn't have too much problems. You only lose about a layer or 2 thick. Looks like we only lost about 1 layer here and a little bit extra, but not much more damage was done. And that's about it, folks. I'm Acabane101. Thank you for watching. Hopefully Direwolf 20 comments or watches this video and enjoys it as well as you guys. And I hope to do more ModBusters, so please put in the comments of different kinds of mythical mod bugs or something weird or little contraptions that you think may or may not work. And let's just see, like, anything that's related to explosions, please. I love to do explosion tests and stuff like this, so please let me know, and I'll definitely get to work on doing more of that stuff. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.